I'm Chey, and my love of concerts really shows. Ready? Rolling. Yes, I'm back to making terrible puns as the intro to my videos. What can I say? I'm only a girl. 2023 was quite the year of concerts for me. 2023 was also the year I decided that I'm getting back into my band girl era. No, it is not a phase. Mom. My mom is the one who knew all along it was not a phase. She was like, this is who you are. She was like the Mufasa being like, this is who you are. I just love music, man. I love bands. I don't know what else I can tell you. Not in the way that I'm like, they're mine. You know the fans I'm talking about. No, I really love music. I really love going to shows. I really love supporting all the bands that I can. Not just bands, also just singular artists. Any kind of music I love to support. That being said, I had this realization this past 2023, almost at the end of the year, after I had been to a majority of the shows that I'm going to talk about. But as I was recapping and reflecting on my year, I realized, oh goodness, it has been an amazing year for shows. I've been going to shows for a long time, but I think 2023 has been my best year yet. For just the amount of shows I saw, the amount of artists that I saw that I've been wanting to see for a long time, the memories. And I like to try and make a yearly wrap-up video where I go over my goals and just reflecting on my year. And I just knew that the concerts and shows that I saw were gonna have to be their own recap videos. So this is it. This is my 2023 concert wrap-up video. I'm also filming in a new location. This is the other side of my room. You're gonna have to forgive Jesus back there in the window. He wants a front row seat, which is fine. This is my in-development sound corner of my room. Poster over there in a frame that I painted from a day to remember. I've got a bunch of my guitars sitting over here. This is one of my sound systems back here. I have a couple of turntables down there. A lot of my music's back here. I figured what a fitting place to film it. And also, just a little bit different from the usual sitting on my bed with the Beartooth flag behind me. Just change it up a little. Change it up a little in the new year, spice it up, you know what I mean? So in this video, I'm just going to be recapping all the shows that I saw last year in 2023, giving some fun stats, some fun memories, just generally talking about all the cool stuff that I got to see. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about my hopefuls for this year, 2024. And I did just buy a ticket to a show today that I am just giggling and kicking my little feetsies at. So we'll talk about that at the end. Drop a guess in the comments below who you think it is. I'll even give you a little bit more of a hint. As I'm filming this, it is currently February 2nd. These tickets just went on sale not even an hour ago in my area. Drop a guess in the comments who you think I just bought tickets for. Don't go look at my Instagram stories, that's cheating. Let's start off with some stats, shall we? Now, I do keep a log of the shows that I see in several different ways. I do keep a physical log, which is in a notebook at home, and I keep 2 digital logs. One is in my music page in Notion, and the other, I use a website called Concert Archives. I have been using this website for years. This is not a promo, this is not a sponsorship, I just genuinely have been using Concert Archives for years. I really, really like the site. And if you go to a lot of shows like me, you might find it very useful as well. So I'll try to put screenshots in between here and there so you can see what I'm looking at on my personal Concert Archives page, and I'll also list it in the description down below if you want to go peek at my log. That sounded like an innuendo. I didn't mean it that way. Whoops. Concert Archives, if you don't know what it is not only an archive or a log of artists and shows and venues that's been played over the years, it's also kind of a social media element because you can go see other people's public logs and see all the shows that they've seen. You can add on to shows that have been listed, you can add your own personal photos or comments or update the set list. It's kind of like setlist.fm, if you know what that is, but more for just shows in general. I like it a lot. So, starting off, in 2023, I saw 36 performances during 12 concerts with 34 bands at 8 venues in 2 locations. Okay, so let's break that down. How many shows did I see in 2023? I saw 12. I'm really happy about that because going into 2023, I had a best goal. So if you don't know, how I do my yearly goals is I have a best me versus a worst me. Because usually, you may not achieve your ultimate best goal, but also you'll do better than you think. And so this way you set like the ultimate high bar and then you set the ultimate low bar and then you see, usually you land somewhere in the middle and it's a happy medium. But last year in 2023, I had a best me goal of seeing 10 shows. I saw 12, so I beat the best me. So I saw 12 shows. How many artists? 34. Which that would average out to about 3 per show, which I think is about average. I think that's about normal. What's surprising to me, though, is the number of venues that I saw these artists at. I saw artists at 8 different venues. That's wild to me. So the venues I went to are Brooklyn Bowl, East Side Bowl, Marathon Music Works, Nissan Stadium, Ryman Auditorium, the Basement East, the End, and the Mule House. This was a really exciting year for me, not just in seeing artists that I've been wanting to see for a long time and seeing great shows, but also in just getting to discover Nashville and Nashville's music scene. As much as I love music, this is like really the first year that I've had not only the time, the monetary stability, but also the independence to be able to go to a bunch of the shows that I want. When I was a teenager, it wasn't like my parents were against me going to shows or anything like that, but I did prioritize school first. And also, I didn't have an income, at least not enough that I could set aside to go to shows without saving up well in advance, so I just didn't go to shows as much. I usually saved up for a big show that was coming through, and then I went and saw that one. I wasn't very adventurous, and also I didn't have that much time because I was either working or I was focusing on schoolwork or I was helping out with the family stuff. And then, when I turned 18, I was in college until age 21, from 17 to 21, and while I did start going to more shows in DC, same kind of thing. I was still mainly focused on schoolwork, and as a college student, I really didn't have money. So I just went to the shows that... I tried to go to a lot more shows, and I ended up going to a lot more shows. But still, not as much as I would have liked. Discord, shut up. Wait, I better check that. It might be the Beartooth. Sorry. Trials and tribulations of being a mod. You're needed at all hours. But now that I'm out of college and I have my own income, I have a job, and I have more time since I'm a freelancer, and I have a car, I have more money, more independence, more leisure time. So I've been able to really embrace my music-loving side coming back out again and going to a bunch of different shows. And it's been really exciting because I've heard about these venues for such a long time, or these venues have popped up in the recent couple of years, or just popped off in the recent couple of years. And it was so cool to actually get to experience them for the first time. Like, for the first time, I went to Brooklyn Bowl, which was really, really fun. I went to East Side Bowl for the first time, which was, again, a really fun time. I went to both the bowling alley-themed venues in Nashville. I went to Ryman for the first time, and I went to the Basement East for the first time. So that is 5 out of the 8. Hi, hello. Sorry to interrupt your viewing experience. This is editing Chey here, realizing and watching back that I made a grievous error that I would like to atone for. I did not, in fact, go to 5 venues for the first time. I thought, for some reason, for some silly, goofy, silly reason, that I went to Marathon for the first time last year. That is blatantly not true, and I shall be seeking damages against myself. The first time I went to Marathon was back in 2019. I just had a 4-year gap between the last time I went there and last year, so I got a little bit confused. So please just ignore the 5 and turn it into a 4. I went to 4 venues for the first time last year. Alright, back to it. 5 out of 8 venues that I went to this year, I went to for the very first time. I love discovering new places to find music, and I love seeing cool music at those places. Do I have a favorite venue? No. I like all the venues. I don't have any on here that I disliked, but to pick a favorite venue, I think it would have to depend on the artist that I'm seeing there. For instance, I don't think that I would enjoy seeing the Dirty Nil as much at Marathon as I did seeing them at the Basement East. The Dirty Nil is another one of my favorite bands. If you don't know the Dirty Nil, you need to go check out the Nil. I saw them for the first time this year, which I didn't think was ever going to happen because they're Canadian and it's so hard for Canadian bands to tour down here. I almost have never bought tickets so fast in my life when they announced their tour. But they are just like a hard-driving rock and roll punk rock band. And the Basement East, which is really a kind of intimate venue, I know some people would disagree because it's kind of spread out, but it's a venue that allows for that super intimate, super almost kind of house show feel to it. And I think that vibe really fits their aesthetic perfectly. Whereas like Marathon, it would be really cool to see them there, but I feel like a place like the Basement East fits their vibe and fits their aesthetic more. So I think that I would enjoy the Basement East more with them there than I would at Marathon. But I would enjoy seeing them either way because I love them. It's the artist, right? And keeping on track with the venues, what was the venue I attended the most? Marathon, with 3 attendances counted. Coming in second place, tied with each other, are Ryman Auditorium and The End. We'll get into some more stats in a minute, but let's get into a more detailed overview. And starting out, I'm just going to run through and tell you all of the shows that I saw this year. Starting in chronological order. The first one was Chris Jansen and Shane Prophet at the Mule House. I am counting this one because even though I did work this event, I was on staff, I did actually get to watch the show and I got to watch a lot of it from side stage, which was a really cool experience, so I'm counting it. I definitely attended the show. I usually try not to count the shows that I work as attending the shows, but I did end up watching a lot of the show just because I was able to. I wasn't running back and forth like a rat with my head cut off, so, you know, I count it. Let me have this one, okay? Luke Combs' World Tour at Nissan Stadium. Then the Dopamine Tour with Set It Off, Rivals, In Her Own Words, and Sing Queen. All Time Low and Mayday Parade at the Unplugged Evening with All Time Low at the Ryman. Wage War, Nothing Nowhere, and Spite. Beartooth, Trivium, Archetypes Collide, and Malevolence. The Dirty Nil, Stoop Kids, and Daniel Romano's Outfit. Oxymorons, Rivals, Sorry Mom, and The Raging Kid. Hawthorne Heights, and the Emo Orchestra Tour. Kesha and Jake Wesley Rogers at the Gag Order Tour, which I think she renamed the Only Love Tour. We Came as Romans, Archetypes Collide, Body Snatcher, and Amur on the Dark Bloom Tour. And then finally, to end out the year, we had Action Adventure, Cliff Diver, Keep Flying, Rare Candy, and Hollow Wake. Phew! That was a mouthful. Okay, so now that you have a grasp of the variety of artists that I saw and who I saw, let's talk a little bit more about them. Don't worry, I'm not gonna give an in-depth review of every single concert because we would be here forever. And also, a lot of these shows I do have vlogs of specifically on this channel. Every show that I've vlogged, I put them all together in a playlist, concerts, it'll be up above. And when I do talk about a show that I did vlog, I will also list it above and down in the description below. So if you want to see the vlog of that concert, you can. I don't know how many vlogs, concert vlogs I'm going to do in 2024 this year, because I realized that a lot of times I was getting worried or focused more on getting good shots to fill some runtime in a video rather than just kind of enjoying the show, and I don't want to do that. I still may upload some shorter vlogs, some shorter concert vlogs this year, but I'm just gonna focus on having a good time. Most merch bought at a show. I have a problem with buying merch. Don't look at the poster. I didn't buy it. That was gifted to me, so that doesn't count. Haha! I have a problem with buying merch, though. Carlos, Beartooth, don't look at me like that. It's bad when their merch guy knows you by name. Whoops! So I have a problem with buying merch, but I do really try to rein myself in at shows. The problem that I have is especially if I'm seeing a smaller artist in a more smaller, intimate venue, I really, really want to get their stuff to support them because I know merch is one of the main ways that bands get their monetary support. Rather than streaming services and stuff like that, I like to give the money directly to the artist. I know a lot of times it's the most direct way for bands to make money, and so I like to get merch to support them, both because I love merch and because I want to support the band's artists as much as I can, in the most helpful ways that I can. While saying that though, I do try to rein myself in on buying merch because buying merch, it is expensive. It goes to a good cause, but it can rack up quite quickly. And especially if it's a smaller show, I like to try and get a merch item from every band at the show. But of course, I don't just get it to get it. Like, I get the merch because I do want it. I'm not just like, oh, the band needs money, let me get a merch item. Like, no, I do want the merch item. It's just good that it actually goes to supporting them as well. While the merch that I get really just depends on, in the moment, what I want, there is one thing that I try to get from every single tour, if they have it, and that is a tour t-shirt. I have this grand vision that when I'm like 90 and I'm just decrepit, that I am just gonna work on a quilt with my band t-shirts. That I'm just gonna make all of my tour t-shirts into a quilt. It's gonna be a massive freaking quilt. I may have to make several, but that's gonna keep me occupied from causing chaos. What am I saying? I'm still gonna cause chaos. I'm just gonna be in the back of like the Beartooth show when they're like performing at 110, and I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, sunshine, just sewing my tour t-shirt, and Carlos is just gonna hand me another one like, here's the latest one. Sew that one in the top right corner. Oh boy. But I love to get tour t-shirts if they have them. Not every tour has them, so I have to make my own. But that is the one item that I always try to get. So which show did I buy the most merch at? You might think Beartooth. You'd think wrong. I managed to contain myself at that show by the grace of the rock gods. Though Carlos did give me a bandana. He didn't give me it, I bought it. But I walked up with just like, okay, Chey, we're just gonna get the tour t-shirts. And then Carlos was like, we just got bandanas in today. And I was like, Carlos! Why did you do this? Adam! And of course I bought it. Of course I did. Where is it? Hold on. Hold on, let me show you what Carlos did to me. I had to get it. I had to. It's a sunshine bandana. But it was not Beartooth. 'Twas not. And I'm just gonna have to go off of memory here because I didn't go through and count all the merch. I believe that I got the most at the Action Adventure, Cliff Diver, Keep Flying, Rare Candy, and Hollow Wake show. I was able to get merch from pretty much everyone there. I didn't end up getting anything from Rare Candy, I think, because their booth was already packed up by the time that I was able to go over to their merch booth. But I got so much merch from that show. Most of it was Hollow Wake. I think I got like 4 Hollow Wake t-shirts and like buttons and stickers and all that kind of good stuff. Plus, I got a sweater from Cliff Diver. I got a record and a hat from Keep Flying. Like, I got like 10 things. So that definitely was the most merch bought at a show. Also, it's probably one of the most fun shows that I saw this year. There were multiple bands with saxophones, with horn sections. Bring more horns back into pop punk. That's all I'm saying. Alright, that was pretty much the only stat that I wanted to give you about the shows. Now I just want to talk about the shows and experiences in general. I have listed on my YouTube notebook, my YouTube ideas notebook, I'm like, oh, talk about the coolest experience at a show. But I had so many. I was so lucky. There's also stuff that like happened at shows that was personal, and it's not personal in the way where it's like, it's none of your business. But it's just like, if I share it, I think it'll feel too much like bragging, even though it's like, not really bragging. It's not like the harmful kind of bragging. I don't know. Makes me feel kind of icky though. Like for instance, I'll show you how dramatic I'm being. For instance, at the Dirty Nil show, I got a set list and the drumsticks. But see, like telling you that, I'm like, ooh, I'm bragging. I'm bragging, but it's not, Chey, Jesus. So that was a really cool experience. I got the set list and the drumsticks from the Dirty Nil, which was amazing. Thank you, Kyle. Kyle, you're a real one. I got to talk to him at the merch booth and I was telling him how my mom wants me to be a drummer and like I'm drumming and all that kind of stuff, and we had a good discussion about that. They're also just really nice dudes. Please go check out the Dirty Nil. I cannot recommend them to you enough. And thank you to Caleb Shomo for recommending the Dirty Nil to me in the first place. I first found out about them when Caleb was still streaming and I was like, who is this? He was playing the Nil and he was like, you don't know who the Nil is? Chey, you would love them. Go check out their song Pain of Infinity. You would love it. And he was right, and it's one of my favorite songs of all time. So while that was a cool experience, just know that this whole year was full of really cool experiences like that, and I feel so lucky and blessed and honored to have experienced them all. And since I can't really decide on like another coolest experience or cool experiences to tell you about, I'm just gonna give an overview, because there's too many to choose from. Cool is a relative term, and this whole year was just so cool to see so many artists that I love. This past year really popped off for me. For instance, Luke Combs. I have followed Luke Combs since the beginning. Whenever his video for Hurricane first appeared on CMT, I was just like starstruck. I was in love. I said, this is an amazing song, but my worry was because he didn't really fit the focus of CMT's kind of pretty boy soccer mom country that they were kind of pushing at that point. I was worried that he wasn't going to get as much airplay because he doesn't really fit the kind of image that they were portraying in a lot of their push stars. And I literally told my mom, I said, he's so amazing. I hope he doesn't go anywhere. And now he's one of the biggest stars in country music, so I love him so much. He seems like such a genuinely good and nice and caring human being. I wish him all the success in the world. I'm gonna follow his career. It's nice to see him just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. Just, I'm so happy for him, so proud for him. It was a dream to get to finally see him in concert, because when he announced his world tour and he went to Nissan Stadium, I tried checking for tickets and they were like already $300 for the cheapest ones. And I was like, okay, well, I'm never gonna see Luke Combs. I'm just gonna have to give it up. But then they announced a second show. Literally within the 20 minutes that I got that email of saying there's a second show, I went and told my mom and said there's a second show announced. And she said, go get tickets right now. Thanks, Mama Chey. So we went and got tickets. I think they were $75 a piece. But that was for first section in Nissan Stadium. Yeah, Nissan Stadium. That was for the first row section. And even then, what was even cooler, so the vlog is up on this channel, and you'll see in real time this happening. We had pretty decent seats, but they were at the back of the stadium, and when we arrived there, the staff were telling us, no, you've been moved. Because apparently, like, some Jack Daniels truck had been parked down there that wasn't originally going to be parked down there or something. Anyway, we got moved up, like, 3 or 4 sections, for free, like closer to the stage. So, yay! It was a really, really cool show. I had a lot of fun. A lot of good memories from that. And then I took my mom for Mother's Day to a show, because that's what we do. This Mother's Day, I'm probably taking her to see Body Snatcher. But for this past Mother's Day, we saw Set It Off, Rivals, In Her Own Words, and Sing Queen. Now, I really kind of went to the show, not just for Mother's Day, but I went to the show with Rivals being my favorite band on the lineup, the only band that I really listened to. I knew about the other ones, but I just hadn't listened to them. Rivals was the band that I was a fan of. And on their street team. I'm still on their street team. Not only was that just a really, really fun show, but we got to chill at the merch booth with Kaylee from Rivals, who was an absolute sweetheart. Lovely human being. My mom got to meet her, which was fun for my mom. And then after the show, we went back out and I got to talk to Mick and Josh and really introduce myself as part of the street team, and we just had a good conversation. Josh got to talk to my mom about drumming. He was so excited that my mom wanted me to be a drummer. Josh, you caused this. You've made it worse. He would take full responsibility for it, though. That was a really fun show, though. Really cool. The All Time Low show. All Time Low, this was the first time. This year was full of first for me in a lot of ways. A lot of first times going to venues. A lot of first time seeing bands that I love. All Time Low is no different. All Time Low I have been a fan of since I was a little middle school baby emo. I had not yet seen them in concert, just because I just hadn't. So when they announced the one night special evening at Ryman, I was ready to fight a war to go. Because I'm like, you know what? If this is the only time I see All Time Low live, it'll be a dang good one. And what a show to see for your first show of All Time Low, right? Honestly, one of the top 5 concert experiences of my life. You will just not beat screaming "Dear Maria, count me in" at the top of your lungs in a building like the Ryman. And also Jack had a comment that was, "From the Warped Tour to the Ryman, baby!" And I was like, hell yeah! That was... The story times, their banter, what All Time Low is known for. It was just a fun time, and it was cool getting to see Mayday Parade again, because I haven't seen them in so long. Singing Oh Well, at the top of our lungs, that whole crowd, magical experience. Same as Dear Maria and Therapy. I have no words. It's just one of the greatest experiences of my life. Nothing Nowhere. Okay. The Wage War show, I love Wage War, but I have seen them before. I saw them when they opened for Beartooth in Atlanta, which was in 2021. The reason I was super uber excited for the show was Nothing Nowhere opening for them. I have loved Nothing Nowhere for forever. I've been trying to see him for years. On my old channel, not this channel, on my old channel, which I don't really post on anymore. I might in the future, but I haven't in a very long time, where I used to do album reviews. His album Ruiner was the first album that I ever gave a perfect score to, and I just fell in love with him ever since. And I had been going to see him in 2020 in DC, but then guess what happened? The world collapsed. And so I've been a fan since like 2018, but I had not gotten to see him. And when I saw that both Wage War and him and Spite were opening up for Wage War, I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. And so while I wasn't front row and I wasn't in the pit at that show, I was losing my mind at the back of the crowd while he was on stage. It was so cool and so cathartic to finally get to see him after all these years of just trying to. How hard is it to see an artist? Like, every time that I wanted to go see him, it just like fell through or tickets were sold out and I'm like, ah! It's like trying to see like a band like Bad Omens now. It's like I'm so mad at myself that I didn't take the opportunity back then, because now it's like, ah! But I did finally get to see him. And it was amazing. I was losing my mind in the crowd. I did get a lot of looks, as I usually do whenever I'm losing my mind, but you know what? It was worth it. I was like, I'm out here supporting my dude. He's got new music dropping on February 9th, and I'm really excited for it. Hope to see him in concert again soon. And then, of course, the Beartooth Trivium Archetypes Collide Malevolent show was just a really... That's a good show. It's a good show. I'm gonna subvert expectations and not ramble on about this show. You'd think because it's Beartooth that I would, but I'm not. I'm not gonna. I did enough of that in the vlog. I'll just say it was a very fun time, and Mama Chey had the time of her life. Her proudest achievement was getting Zach to laugh. If y'all don't know, Mama Chey loves Beartooth as much as I do. She has nicknames for all of them. Caleb is Bearman, Dealey is Mr. Pickle, Oshie is Oshpakosh Gagosh Gagosh, Connor is Bam Bam. When I asked her what Zach's was, she said, "Does he have any teeth?" And so when she got to meet them for VIP separately, she looked at Zach and said, "Do you have any teeth?" Just unhinged. And apparently he laughed. So, Smiley, I guess, is his name. Either way, she had a great time. She got Caleb to sign her notebook as Bearman, which she thinks is one of the funniest things in the world. It's just a good time. Lost my voice, lost my mind. I think I jumped 4 miles. Like, when I looked at my pedometer on my iPhone the next day, it was like, you walked 4 miles. That's how much I was jumping and running at that show. And we gonna tear it up on March 13th! Hell yeah! And then we have the Dirty Nils Stoop Kids, Daniel Romano's outfit. I've already talked a little bit about the show, so I won't ramble on too much about it, but the Dirty Nil is a band that I've been wanting to see for years, ever since Caleb introduced me to them, and I just love them. But I know it's hard for Canadian bands to get like a full tour down here in the US, just like it's hard for US bands to kind of tour in Canada a lot. Just logistics and money and stuff like that. So I was overjoyed when they finally announced a US tour, and I was like, I cannot miss this because I don't know when they're gonna come back. Also, Stoop Kids, who opened for them, Daniel Romano's outfit was also amazing and just like took me back. Hit all the nostalgia points while also modernizing a lot of what I think would hit as nostalgia and just a good rockin' time. Stoop Kids, though, one of the top most fun performances I've ever seen in my life. They were just so much fun. You watch them and you're like, I want to be friends with these dudes. They seem like just boys being boys. That's the energy. They're also one of my mom's new favorite bands. She actually like loved them. She went and got their like autographs and got their CDs and everything. She loved them. And then we saw Hawthorne Heights. Hawthorne Heights with emo orchestra is a magical experience. I don't know what else to say besides that. We need more emo orchestra tours. We need more acoustic tours. It's just something so magical about singing along with everyone, but just the calming, like, acoustic communal thing, while also sometimes screaming your hearts out, like in Welcome to the Black Parade. Fun time. Fun time. Really, really magical. Also, Dealey was there. Dealey, I didn't get to say hi in person, but hi. Kesha and Jake Wesley Rogers was really just a spur-of-the-moment thing. I was checking on venues' websites, as I usually do, for upcoming shows, just see what's coming around, see if I'm interested in anything, and I noticed that Kesha was coming to the Ryman, and I was like, excuse you? Kesha? My girl? I have vivid memories of when TikTok first came out, because when it first came out, I was on a church trip to Extreme in Gatlinburg in Pigeon Forge. And if you know what that is, if you know what I'm referencing, you may be entitled to financial compensation. I remember being in the church van, like 10, 11 years old, and the teenagers in the back were playing TikTok when it first came out. Since then, I've been a fan of Kesha, but I've never managed to see her. And when I saw that she was coming to the Ryman, 2 shows, I think it was 2 dates, I texted my cousin, who I also know is a big Kesha fan, and I was like, hey, this look interesting? And for a while, we went back and forth because the tickets were pricey for us in our current financial state. But then one day, I was off my phone for like 10 minutes, and I come back, and my cousin's texting me like 5 times, being like, oh, I'm thinking about, what about these seats? What do you think about these? Is it possible? I bought them. I bought the seats. And so thank you, Sabrina, for getting those seats, getting those tickets. It was a great time. Again, just a really unique experience getting to see Kesha at the Ryman. The Ryman is really just popping off with all these different acts that they're booking. And kind of the same thing, the We Came as Romans, the Dark Bloom tour, was really spur of the moment. It was a show that I had been wanting to go to for a while, like I'd had my eye on, but I was like, oh, well, I'm not like super crazy about any of the bands on the tour except like Body Snatcher. I really like all the bands, but also like I had been working days back to back to back that week, and I was like, how much do I love them to go to Nashville to drive, fight the traffic, and you know, just the whole being old, blah blah blah, old lady shakes her fist at sky. But I really wanted to go. But I was trying to justify going besides just me going, and so my mom was like, why don't you ask your cousin, why don't you ask Sabrina? And so I texted Sabrina literally about 6 hours before the show, and I was like, hey, you want to go to a show tonight? And my mom was like, I'll get the tickets for you. You want to go? Merry Christmas. And I told my cousin, I was like, Mom's buying, and she was like, what the hell, let's go. And she was like, well, I need to like leave early for work tomorrow, but sure, let's go. And we went. We had to leave a little bit early, but we did stay for a good part of We Came as Romans set. We just left like, I think like 30 minutes early, but it was a really fun time. Really cool. I taught her how to 2-step. And all the bands that were on that I saw for the first time, except I think I've seen Amir once with Asking Alexandria, I think. That show with Asking Alexandria on the From Death to Destiny tour just lives rent-free in my mind. Because there were like 5 openers on that show. And I think they opened for them on that show? Let's utilize Concert Archive and see. Who opened at that show? Yes, they did. They opened for them. So it was All That Remains, Seven Dust, Amir, For Today, and Asking Alexandria. Good to know. But yes, it was my first time seeing We Came as Romans. Oh no, I had seen Archetypes Collide earlier that year. What am I talking about? It was my first time seeing We Came as Romans and Body Snatcher. And might be seeing Body Snatcher again. Which is great because I am a Body Snatch fan. The Action Adventure, Cliff Diver, Keep Flying, Rare Candy, Hollow Wake show. This was a show Running theme here that just kind of happened out of the blue. I was on Instagram, and Hollowake is a local band. I saw that they posted on their Instagram stories that they were going to be an opener for this show. A little bit of background, I first saw Hollowake when they opened for the Dragged Under show back in 2022 with Rivals. They were the opener on that show, and I really, really liked them. And then, fast forward a little bit later, one of their members joined Oshi's Discord, and I was like, wait a minute, are you from the band that, like, opened for Dragged Under? And he was like, oh my god, yeah, that was, like, our second ever show. Crazy how small the world is. Anyway, they were like, hey, you should come out to like another show. We'd love to see you, love to say hi. And it just never aligned because I was usually working whenever their shows were going on. Except this time when they announced this one, I was like, okay, check my schedule. I have nothing scheduled. I'm not working that day. I'm working the day before until like midnight, but I'm not working that day. And so I texted them and I was like, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. And I went and I had an amazing time. I'm so glad I went. They crushed it. Every band crushed it. Again, one of the most fun shows that I saw last year. I was smiling so big the entire time. It was just so much fun. Such good energy. Felt like everyone were best friends at that show. It felt like a house party. It's such a fun time. A lot of good vibes going around. You gotta gas up your homies. You know what I'm saying? So that's all the concerts that I went to this year. As you can tell, I clearly had the time of my life. I feel extremely fortunate to have been able to go to the shows that I attended, both being able to afford it and having the independence and the means to be able to go, and especially to support the artist when I was able. I am so blessed and so lucky to get to be able to do all of that, and to get to look forward to it this year as well. Concerts really are my home away from home. They really are my happy place, and it took a long time for me to embrace the side of me that is just so viscerally in love with music that is just my passion. It's my biggest purpose in life. It gives me life. And it took me a long time to embrace that, but ever since I have been embracing it, my life has improved exponentially. Each concert is such a unique experience. I meet so many cool people. I have so many fun, fond memories. And I've never regretted going to a show. My poor little iPhone 7 has also been along with me for the ride, but you know what? She takes some pretty daggone good concert pictures. I've probably cycled through some during this video just to keep your little ADHD attention spans from wafting too far, but I might input a few more here just for the sake of showing them off because I'm very proud of them. Oh, I did want to mention a couple of shows that I missed out on that I'm really upset that I missed out on. The four that come to mind, I missed Alpha Wolf. They didn't headline, they were opening for Motionless in White. But I've seen Motionless in White before. I'm really trying to focus on artists that I've never seen before, if you can't tell. And I was gonna go to that show, but then when the day came, I was like, do I want to drive up to, because I think it was at Wild Horse Saloon, and I was like, do I want to drive up to 3rd Avenue and have to find a parking space and then buy a ticket and then, not really. And I'm so mad at myself. I should have known that I'd be so mad. Call me an issue song, because I'm so mad at myself. And so I missed out on it. And I have never forgiven myself for missing Alpha Wolf. And then Soul Glow had a show, which Soul Glow is a band that I found in 2021, and I really dug all their stuff. And when I'm in the Nashville hardcore group on different social medias, and when they announced that show, I was like, that's gonna be such a killer show. But I think I had to miss it because I had work the next day, or like the work the day before, and it was gonna be really super intense and stuff like that. But upset that I missed that. Not as much as Alpha Wolf, because I missed Soul Glow more understandably because of work, but Alpha Wolf, it was just me being like, I'm so mad. It's like that time that I didn't go to the Ghost show because I didn't have anyone to go with. Which is crazy for me to say, because I go to shows by myself all the time. I'm a big proponent of just normalize going to concerts alone. And then the other show that I'm mad that I missed, the Ghost show was several years back. The third show that I'm mad that I missed, but wasn't really my fault, is the Bad Omens show at Marathon. That sold out within like 5 minutes. I never stood a chance. I never stood a chance. Bad Omens is just sadly one of those bands that I've been into for a long time. When I was into them, and when they weren't as worldwide as they are now, I didn't have the means or ability or circumstance to really be able to go to as many shows as I wanted, so I just kind of missed out on the chance. I don't know, I'll get to see them one day. I can't afford it right now, though. $1,000 resale tickets. I'm sorry, I'll just stand outside and I'll just be like, yay. Who knows? Who knows where the year is gonna take any of us. But sad I missed out on that show, but again, not within my hands. The fourth and final show that I missed out on, which I'm mad about for several reasons, is the Play-Doh benefit show, which is a local Nashville hardcore show. And what it is it's a benefit. The entry to the show, the cost of entry to the show is unopened Play-Doh, and it was a benefit to collect Play-Doh for, I believe it was the Vanderbilt's Children's Hospital, because their most requested item for kids, like toys, is Play-Doh. And so it was a benefit show, a really cool Christmas kind of benefit show for the local community, put on by the local community. Circumstances just ended up not aligning. I think that was the day of the Christmas parade, but I'm still sad that I missed out on that, because, I don't know, it seemed like a fun time. I wanted to give to the benefit, I wanted to help out, but I hope that they'll have it again this year, and I will get to go this year. And a good segue into the shows for the rest of this year. Who am I hoping to see? What concerts have I already confirmed? Well, as I've mentioned, I'm gonna go see Beartooth on March 13th. That is the show with Sleep Theory, The Plot and You, and Invent Animate. I'm really excited for that one. I have a friend coming down from Canada who's gonna come with us. Mama Chey is going. We've got VIP. It's gonna be a killer time. It always is. And everyone keeps telling me, okay, Nashville, the Beartooth date is the second to last date on this tour. Who do I need to talk to about that? Was that on purpose? I'm kidding. But it's the second to last date on this tour, and if you didn't know, Beartooth has an official Discord. I am a mod on the official Discord. And I've gotten to know a lot of people in the community, and I am known for my love of Beartooth. I'm quite well known. Or I should say that if you know me, you know about my love for Beartooth. I mean, hell, there's a freaking one of my latest videos is the 3-hour review of their latest album. It's no secret. Everyone is asking me what I think about this show. People are asking me, when's your show? Like, isn't it soon? Like, have you already seen the show? And I have to tell them, nope! It's in March. I am the second to last show, and everyone's like, what? That's so far away! I cannot tell you the amount of people who have, like, when they ask me when my show is and when they hear when my show is, and they've already seen the show, I cannot tell you the amount of people who have told me I'm going to lose my shit. It's probably over a dozen people at this point have told me that the show is going to blow my mind, and lore-wise, music-wise, particularly me in particular, Chey, is going to lose her ever-loving shit. All of it. All of her shit. And so I'm both excited and nervous and scared from, you know, because they're saying, like, yeah, everyone's gonna love it anyway, but you, Chey, in particular, you are gonna lose your mind. And I'm like, why? Am I, like, a surprise guest on this tour? Or are they like, yeah, Chey and her bullshit? You know, like, why me? Why singling out me? You're scaring me. So I'm both nervous and excited. I just wish they, like, I don't want to be spoiled, but I also want them to tell me, well, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind anyway, but why are they saying it like that? You're scaring me. Where was I going? Oh, the other bands that I am hopeful to see. Alright, so earlier in the video, I told you that I had just bought tickets today to see a band, because they went on sale today, and I told you to drop your guesses in the comments below. Did you already drop your guess? Because I'm about to tell you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, story time. I'm giving you a little bit more time to drop your guesses if you want. I had literally just mentioned the day before this tour was announced in a group chat that I am so mad that I missed this band the last time they came through Nashville. The next day, I got an email from a venue being like, this band is coming to our venue on April 30th. And I said, did I just manifest? Did I just speak that into existence? And I published it in a couple of group chats being like, oh my god, they're coming to my city. And people were like, they haven't announced the tour yet. 2 days later, they announced the tour. And they're like, Chey got it early. And I'm like, y'all, I just checked my email. I don't know what to tell you. It's Alpha Wolf. It's Alpha Wolf, baby. I am gonna get to redeem myself. Hell yeah. I missed them coming through last time and they were just an opener. This time, they are the headliner, baby. I bought my tickets literally when they went on sale just like an hour ago. I'm not missing that show. And then guess what? I'm in danger. Haha, chuckles, I'm in danger. You know why? I'm going to Knocked Loose the next day. So pray for me. pray for my spine. I'm seeing Alpha Wolf, and then the next day I'm seeing Knocked Loose. And then 12 days later, seeing Body Snatcher. I have such a stacked year so far. Beartooth, Alpha Wolf, Knocked Loose, Body Snatcher, plus Psycho Flame and Throne. So many good people. So many good bands. So many bands that I am going to see for the first time that I've been wanting to see forever. I'm probably going to lose brain cells just from how much I'm going to get thrown around, and I am fine with that. Thank you to Mama Chey for an early birthday present. Surprised me with the Knocked Loose ticket. She a real one. She a real one. This is why I take her to Beartooth shows. This is my repayment. Also, I think that they might get upset with me if I came without her. They'd be like, what'd you do with Mom? Where's Mom? I'm so excited. When I saw that Knocked Loose announced their tour first, and then I got the email about Alpha Wolf, or actually, yeah. I went, oh no. Oh no. And I texted my metalhead friend from Blackbird. I texted Aiden, I was like, look at this. And he was like, oh. And I also texted him the Body Snatcher show, and he was like, yo. So, we eating good up here in Nashville in May. We eating good. So that's the shows I have to look forward to. Who else would I, in a dream world, would I love to see this year? We Were Sharks. Come to the USA, please. Or announce a show in Canada, but well enough in advance I can save up money to go. I want to see them in concert. Who else would be a hopeful? I'd like to see Dragged Under again. The Dirty Nil. I don't know, I just feel so lucky already that it feels weird to list other hopefuls. So I've been very lucky this past year, and I'm feeling even luckier about this coming year. I think it's gonna be good. I'm putting out good vibes out there. Good vibes last year, it's gonna be good vibes this year. I can't wait. Are there any artists you saw for the first time last year that you've been trying to see forever, but you actually finally managed to be able to do it? Are there any shows that you're going to that you're excited for this year? Tell me down in the comments. Let me know. Let me know who I should see in concert in Nashville. If you know they're coming to Nashville, you think I should see them, also let me know that. I'm always looking to go to new shows. Always looking to see new peeps. Also, if you see me around at a show in Nashville, please say hi. I don't bite. Not on Tuesdays. That's gonna be it. I'm tired. I want food. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you ain't heard from anyone else today, I love you. Love and peace. Bye!